pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
John, I gave you one, right?
Yep.
He will be here now.
Okay, so roll call, Diane.
Mr. Douglas?
Here.
Mr. Barber?
Here.
Mr. Bruno?
Here.
Mr. Irwin is excused, our attorney is excused, our supervisor, Mr. McDonald.
Here.
Courtney Chacho, our water sewer superintendent. Michael Farrell, our highway superintendent. Mr. Marino, our interim recreation director, and our guests.
And next question.
What about these two guys over here?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you know what? And Mr. Dwinnup, our zoning officer, and Chaka, our dog control officer. And I apologize because you're hiding on me.
I know, but they both almost started crying, so I had to say something.
Can you give me those cards, please?
Okay.
No, Chaka belongs to the garage.
Moving along.
Sorry about that, fellas.
We need a motion and a second to accept reports from all departments, water sewer Velcor, highway, town clerk, dog control, youth we get next meeting, all right, on that, by the next meeting we get the youth. Code zoning, supervisor, court, website, JCO, and bank report. Need a motion and a second?
I'll make it.
Rick?
I'll second the motion.
Greg? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
I need a motion and a second approval of the public hearing of September 26th. We do one at a time.
Motion.
Second. Greg. Jim Douglas. Any question on the public hearing? All look good. Thank you, Diane. All in favor?
Aye.
I need a motion now to approve the regular board meeting of September 26th.
I'll make it.
Rick?
Second.
And Craig? Any questions?
Thank you, Diane.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, community input. Anyone sign up or anyone want to speak?
Nope.
Anyone want to speak?
Nope.
Okay, moving right on. Number 7. Number 7 up here. Motion second AES Northeast update on Reifenberg sewer project and Luck Brothers Street, or Elm Street project.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. I'm just here just to give you guys kind of an update on what has been going on. I did meet with Reifenberg this about 11 o'clock this morning. I actually drove to Ticonderoga and met him halfway. And
Who'd you meet with?
Chuck.
Okay.
Yeah. He actually, I guess he's been driving around. He had to come up and do some, I've been after him since August to give me some paving quantities.
Yes.
He finally did it the other day. So we were able to compare and contrast individual measurements. We came up to a final number on paving quantities. We were a little more than what I thought, but a little less than what he had indicated. So we met in the middle. He agreed to, we had an informality in the bid form, which translated onto their schedule of values for the line striping. So they were holding it over our head, and I said it's not going to happen. So they did agree to drop that issue. They repeatedly tried to come back for a little more, claiming that the work that they did at Maiden Lane Pump Station, the slope was additional work and not corrective action. They agreed to drop that, and they agreed to accept when they were digging by the salon for the lateral, they hit an old foundation, and they agreed to accept payment of 2 cubic yards of rock removal in lieu of trying to. They had a little over $4,000 proposed change order to take up a wheelbarrow and a half full of busted up concrete. So
you had a good negotiation day going on.
well, it was productive. I mean, I agreed to $20,000 worth of paving. but, you know, but we got all the rest of this gone.
Good.
And they agreed that as long as the town, they asked if, because we had gone past, we hit substantial completion, we hit the date, because we've gone past the final completion date, they asked if the town was willing to waive any potential liquidated damages. And I said, insofar as it relates to negotiating this final plus minus change order, yes. If there's something else that goes haywire and we've got to come back to you and you aren't timely in your responses or replies or how you corrective action, then no. But insofar as just the dates, that, so
Yep.
he said that was good enough.
Good.
So we shook hands on it, and I said I would get the final plus minus down here tomorrow, and we would start closing the project out.
Excellent, Dave. Glad to hear that, Michael.
So onward to Elm Street. The main has been completed. We're up through where we want to be with the main. Service laterals should be completed by tomorrow. Next week they'll be doing some testing. They'll be in the actual manholes, finishing those up, the benches down in all of the inverts down inside the manholes. And they'll be doing some grade adjustments on the tops as well, bring them up to where they need to be for paving. Hopefully next week they'll also, we've finished water services. Courtney, you think that's? Yeah, I mean I put it in there for that. And so the week of 10/24 will be the start of road reconstruction. That's putting everything all back together again.
Just on the water services so far, I believe they have replaced 3 or 4 that they've come across that cross the road that they've taken care of. My crew, we have dug down and replaced 4 lead services. Instead of just locating them, we just kept going and replaced them. And we have confirmed that 3 other residents have already been changed. So I'm thinking that's leaving about 4 left to determine. We're hoping to get them. If not, then Buck will have to help us out on that before they pay.
Nice, very good for
Yeah, so you won't have to dig your street back up again in 3 years for lead service replacement, so.
That was the plan.
Yeah, that's a win
Might have
for,
missed that meeting.
that's a win for everybody there.
This is the Culvert.
So like I said, road reconstruction will start the week of 10/24, and they are hoping to be substantially complete and out of here by Veterans Day.
Nice.
We did come into a little bit of a, not a snafu, but a little bit of an issue with regarding Mike's desire to use his CHIPS money for putting the sidewalk in. It's not an issue. You can use your CHIPS money however you want. The CHIPS money can't come anywhere near the money that is going to be appropriated through USRDA for this project. So we have to keep them not only separate, but completely different accounts. In other words, the payout that comes from Luck Brothers can't show anything to do with those sidewalks. Because if you're using a different funding source, it has to be disclosed and approved by USRDA at the national office.
Okay.
So it adds months to the project. So we just don't want to deal with that.
Are they in charge of the sidewalks?
What's that?
USRDA in charge of the sidewalks?
No.
Okay.
No, that's ours.
That's theirs, and I guess you guys already have a county contract with Lux?
Yeah, there's several contractors around there.
Yeah.
That's how we're gonna go through. If we don't, then we gotta hire an engineer firm. It's gotta be engineered.
That's right.
And I don't wanna hold that project up, so.
And Lux has already come out, gotten their shots, has surveyed it, has a plan. Our surveying department has already looked it over and has approved it
Okay.
and sent it back to Lux. So from here on out, it's gonna be just Lux dealing with you, Mike.
Yep.
And that's the way we're gonna do it. And then we'll drive on with the balance of the project.
Okay. As long as we're on Elm Street, can you tell me why there's no sewer going down to, is that road?
Owens Drive?
Owens Drive.
There is no sewer there.
I know, I wanna know why they don't have any sewer down there.
I'm assuming it's the elevation, it's because they're a lower elevation. It's way before,
How do we go about getting them sewer down there?
we have to have it all engineered.
Do they have to have a certain number of people signed on or anything like that? Just asking questions that one of the residents is asking me. You know, I'm not
I
looking
don't know, it
for,
depends how much expense the town wants to put forward to look into it. You know, is it gonna be worth the town's expense and an engineer for if only one person wants to tie on?
yeah.
I mean, there's only, what, 3, 4 houses that
There's
don't have it
4,
down there?
Yeah.
Or that don't have it?
Okay. I'll check into it, give them some answers.
Anything else on it?
No, that's all I got. That'll carry us through, and like I said, the next item is the pay app, but that's already on your agenda anyway.
Yep. Yeah, we got that one. Okay. But number 8, move along then. Need approval, I mean, it's just a motion and a second because it's already been, you know, looked at. and approved it already. Need a motion and a second to accept pay app number 2 for Elm Street project.
Make the motion.
Second.
Motion by Craig, second by Jim Douglas. The amount is due is on this one is $420,663.93. All in favor?
Aye.
Next one is, that was for Elm Street, next one is the Luck Brothers Culvert project on Telegraph. I need a motion and a second to accept the pay app number 4 for Luck Brothers for $591,260. Is it different? What's up?
I don't have that.
You know, 466, it's just above the 591.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
$466,048.27.
I'll make the motion.
Rick?
Second.
Jim Douglas, all in favor?
Aye.
Mike, feel free to leave, man.
Okay.
Okay, so that's that. Number 10, motion discussion. Number 10. Mike, this is on yours on the John Deere. You want any discussion before, or motion in a second?
What's that?
You want any discussion on this?
Thanks a lot, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike, have a good night.
You too.
Take care, thank you. So I need a motion in a second, then we can have discussion, and then there's a resolution.
Make the motion.
Craig?
Second.
Rick, want discussion on that?
Yep, what this is town of Burl, town of Ausable, in 2023 budget, it's actually under a shared services agreement, and we're gonna get reimbursed by New York State, it's gonna be over a year. But we demoed 2 skid steers, Kubota and John Deere, and actually we reached out to Bobcat, but they never did anything, which is not surprising. It is a source well bid, so it's on a national contract, just like the Kubota. So we just want to order it to have it for spring. So our half is going to be like $60,000, but our meeting is before Ausable, so we can get the paperwork in, get it ordered. So it's a John Deere skid steer. It'll have a coal planer. So we do our own milling, a pickup broom, and an angle broom. So.
Question.
Yep.
With the broom on, is that something that the sidewalks can be done with?
No,
No.
this skid steer is going to be too big.
Okay.
You had to go with that size skid steer to run the milling head.
Okay.
So, no, I thought of that, but it's not gonna.
Okay.
That's where we're at. We just need permission to order it, so.
So we got the motion and a second, and now I need resolution, Diane.
A resolution to purchase a John Deere 331G track skid steer with a 24-inch coal plater, 84-inch hydraulic angel broom, and a 72-inch hopper pickup broom for the highway department from United AG and Tractor Center as part of the shared services with the town of Ausable. Whereas the town of Clutown Board has found a need for a new John Deere 33-1G track skid steer with a 24-inch gold planer, 84-inch hydraulic angel broom, and a 72-inch hopper pickup broom. Whereas the town board and the highway department have determined that the new John Deere 331G track skid steer from United Ag and Tractor would enable the town to provide a continued level of quality service to the town residents at a reasonable price. Whereas the highway superintendent has decided to purchase this equipment with the town of Ausable as part of the shared service agreement on a 50% basis for each party at the time of the purchase and will help defray the costs of the new tractor. Whereas the pricing is from New York State Sourcewell contract and provides a deep discount on the John Deere skid steer and accessories. The total pricing for the aforementioned equipment will be $120,187.96. Now therefore be it resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to sign all paperwork to execute this purchase as soon as possible. Mr. Burl.
Yes.
Mr. Bruno.
Yes.
Mr. Douglas.
Yes.
Mr. Irwin is excused. Mr. McDonald.
Yes.
So the savings, I see 46,000, is that because it's a state bid or is that
It's national bid, Sourcewell.
national?
Yeah, there's national bid, every piece of the broom, the two brooms and the coal planer and the skid steer all got Sourcewell price with discount. Just to give you an example, the state discount is usually 14%. When we bought our last loader, it was 41% on Sourcewell, so there's quite a,
Yeah.
because it's not just a local state bid, it's national.
Yeah.
For the whole country, so it's helped everybody.
Yeah, definitely look like it's, that's a good savings on $50,000. Can't beat that.
That shared service works good, Mike.
Yeah. You know, we got good working relations with Ausable, we're together all the time.
All related?
What was the savings for?
Not related to Apple, I'll say the least. Oh, yeah. Black Coke, Ausable, around Feasible. Hey. Gotta throw that in there. And then Feasible out. My mother was wrong too. We might be related.
God bless you.
All right, you guys. What you got moving?
Okay, so number 11. Need a motion and a second to accept Jason Burl's resignation letter from the highway department.
I'll make the motion. Second.
Resolution, Diane.
A resolution accepting the resignation of Jason Burl from the town of highway department, motor equipment operator position effective October 26, 2022, whereas Jason Burl has recommended that the town board accepts his resignation from a motor equipment operator position for the Peru Highway Department offered October 11, 2022 and effective October 26, 2022. Therefore be it resolved that Clutown Board agrees with the recommendation of Jason Burl to accept his resignation and thanks him for his past service to the town. His resignation will be effective October 26, 2022, and be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Unfortunately, this won't be the last one that we know about coming up that will be getting done at the highway. Unfortunately, other towns and counties and other people are paying a heck of a lot more than the towns pay. So we will have to look at an overall salary thing coming up soon for this budget. The county's paying $28. Other towns have given $2 an hour raise to every employee. Some towns have given, what, $2.50, Mike, with 5% increase in 3 months and a 5% increase 6 months after that. We got to really look at the salaries. Obviously, everyone's paying way more than they used to pay, and we know we are going to lose 2 highway guys and possibly 2 more. So we got to really take a serious look at our pay scales when we're $8 less than other towns and counties. So, anything else on that? Mike, anything?
No, it is what it is, and it's not just here, it's, went to Lake George for that salt thing today, it's all over, it's,
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is, I'm really trying to think of come up a way you can offer more vacation, but they can't do vacation. So I don't know what it is. It's frustrating. It's new license requirement, where they get an A, it's $4,700, they get a B, it's 27, and they get the training. These companies now are offering 10, 12 hours more an hour, which didn't used to be a big thing. The towns they came because of the benefit. Now they're throwing benefits in, and health insurance, and a sign-on bonus. You can't compete. We're good. The whole state's going to be in trouble. Or not the whole state, the whole country.
Yeah.
I can see
And
it
it's
coming.
not, and it's
Yeah,
not
I've been
just,
talking about it for a while now.
yeah, it's every job. It's not just highway, it's not water sewer, it's not, it's every job. I mean, you look at, the job signs everywhere, hiring, and everyone has to keep going up, and if you don't, you're gonna lose good employees, and unfortunately, we lose more than, I hate to say it, we lose more than 2 employees. 2 is gonna hurt with the highway. We lose more than 2, we're gonna have some roads that aren't gonna get plowed.
Yeah,
Or we're gonna have to need help from other towns.
Brian's got the same issues going on with the county, and they're
Yeah.
-6 drivers right now.
Well, I talked to the county today because I reached out to one of the employees, and, but what was happening, the county used to be above towns, and then
Yeah,
towns all went up, the county kind of saved, versus they're dealing with the whole county taxpayers, but they were losing them. Now come January, they're bumping everybody 2 grades up, so it's gonna reverse again. So the town guys are gonna start to jump ship back to the county. It's doggy, and when I first started 13 years ago, you didn't talk to another employee from another town or county, because that was an unwritten rule, don't do that, but now you gotta do what you gotta do.
yeah, I know, driving to Massachusetts, every sign has DOT looking
Yeah.
for workers, DOT looking for workers.
Oh, I talked to DOT was down there today, they're only out, 16:52, and said it's frustrating, it's a revolving door. They get them in the door, they're gone within a week. Well, they're not gonna stay
All
there.
right, we'll see what we can do about it come budget.
Okay, number 12, motion to, well, it ain't really a motion discussion, just discussion. Diane will talk about some Jeremiah wanted on our thing, or Pam.
Did Jeremiah talk to you more about this than he talked to me about it?
I had forwarded this to you guys before.
Yeah.
I just wanted to reiterate it. Basically what it's going to do is, you did have a line in there. It's not going to cost the town anymore, it's just going to spread out the difference. So it's easier for the elderly. The income limits are being, make adjustments to the income limits for next year.
And it hadn't been adjusted in.
Speak up.
And it hadn't been adjusted since when? What was it, I can't, 2003, Jeremiah was saying, and that, it was just that the elderly people that are on fixed incomes, that are making less than what,
24,000.
24, and then I guess it can go up, and he had all the figures and whatnot when I was talking to him about it. But he would like the town to consider, and there's a website right on there for everybody to look at,
It does say here, please keep in mind that you do not lose any money giving exemptions. It simply shifts the burden to the other taxpayer. The amount shifted this year would have been $10,800 for the owners in Peru. If split evenly, that's $3.25 per parcel. It's not this is not how the amount is shifted, but it's an example as to
Exactly.
how it would shift.
Yeah.
So, this was originally sent to the Board of Education of Peru School, and he wanted me to share it with you guys because he's hoping that we do the same.
When would this have to take effect?
It would take effect next year.
But when would we have to pass something?
That I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'll ask him tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
And like he said, other municipalities are also considering it for next year.
Okay.
So.
Also, too, Dan, I don't think it's for the Landing County, I think it's just for the school. Am I correct saying that?
I'm not really sure,
It
to be
says school
honest.
district, it says per school district on almost every other thing in here. But would we pass that, or would per school have to pass this? That's the only thing we wanna make sure of, you know, because if it's something that we pass in the school, is it the ones that not gonna,
We'll talk to
we'll talk
Jeremiah
to
tomorrow,
them.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he's here tomorrow. Okay, so we have more discussion on it and see when it's gonna be, if it's something that we pass or the school passes.
I know that he was very, pleased, I guess I'm gonna say the word is, that it's a possibility because at the end of the day, it's really not a substantial amount of money for people that can afford the $3.25. And that the school hasn't changed it, that the school didn't want to, I don't know how it all worked with the school, but, I mean, it's a little complicated, but it's not complicated.
But it's increased their taxes since 2003, $1,200 to $2,000
Right.
every year.
Right.
So obviously, if this is something we do or the school does, it can help them save that $1,200 to $2,000 a year. A senior citizen that's making under $24,000, and the burden is around $325 per partial of everyone else that is out there working.
Right.
We hope better. Okay, we'll talk more about it. Thank you. Number 13, Telegraph Road Culvert project.
Yep, it's going good. The board poured both walls Tuesday. And they couldn't get concrete. They were only going to allow them to do one. We chewed enough, Lux chewed enough, let them, they kept the truck coming, so they ended up letting them pour both 55 yards. If not, we were going to be in trouble with because October 15th was the deadline to be out of the stream bed. So luckily they did end up doing it. They got both walls poured. Travis from Lux called me the next morning. Because they were poured the morning before by contract in blueprint, the walls are supposed to stay with the forms on for 2 days. I said, no, take them off. Let's keep this thing mowing, or we're going to be past the stream bed where we can't do anything. We got to start the whole permit process. We didn't want to get into that, so and they would have been at standstill. They would have had to go out of it. So they stripped both of them, and finally, now we're at the end. They got 2 crews there because they had poured a bridge deck somewhere. And once the bridge deck's got to sit for 14 days. So.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they got it after all. The one crew did all the rebar, and that's a lot of rebar across the 180 feet. But it's pretty amazing for the small crew they've had all summer the work they've done. So, but it's going good. I think the pieces were tentatively set come sometime, I think next week, but don't quote me. I'll know more tomorrow or Monday. They still got to form the wing walls on the end, but that's technically out of the stream bed, so it doesn't make any sense. But,
Oh my God.
but when you're dealing with some of these people,
That does
some
not make
things
any
don't.
sense.
But you just kind of laugh and keep moving on. But it's going good. Like I said, once those pieces are set, you'll see that coming together quick, because we got it because of the blacktop that we're getting a crucial
Good,
time.
man.
You know, the big project starts to wrap up, the blacktop later, another shutdown. That's
Thank
it.
you, excellent, good news,
Excellent.
Mike.
Number 14, sewer Elm Street project update report.
Got it.
Yeah, I think everything was sent to Mike unless anybody has any questions. I think, I don't know if anybody wants me to go into what happened a couple weeks ago. I think everybody knows. I know John and Paul talked to me. With the whole water main and the townwide well water. Anybody got any questions on that, or, no? You good?
No, I guess, yeah, I mean, was the line actually struck by something, or was it just the removal of the dirt around it?
The removal of the dirt around it caused, I guess from my understanding, I wasn't actually on site, that the thrust block that was put when you turn The water main usually put a thrust block so things can't push apart. Did not hold when they excavated the dirt on the backside in the 12-inch where it was at a T-boot part.
Does there have to be a separation between water and sewer lines?
There is supposed to be, yes, 10 foot. But when you're going as deep as they are, the top of your ditch is wider, you know, the deeper you go.
No.
You gotta get your trench box in, you gotta have, you know, room to work down in there.
I know some businesses, we were going out to eat that night and Living Goods closed and Pasquale stayed open.
And again, the boil water order was a precautionary, you know, we didn't have any determined contamination or anything in the water, but because of the loss of pressure, obviously down there you had an open pipe, so we definitely had to flush that and confirm. The other parts of town, we were dumping water so fast because it was a 12-inch pipe, one dumping from the reservoir or the water plant tower and one dumping from this tower. I didn't have a good grasp on the pressure reduction across. I know you had called and said out your house you lost pressure. But then later, a few days later, I talked to somebody else up that way, said they never lost pressure, so, but it was just the safest thing was to put everybody on a boil water order until we could get everything charged, make sure we had adequate disinfection, take some tests.
People learn to appreciate water more.
You are kidding.
Yeah.
You are not kidding.
Courtney does too. He appreciates new pipes
And working valves.
and working valves.
Other business. Rick.
Sunday, is it Sunday?
Yeah.
Sunday, we rang the bell. This is back time. Sunday, we rang the bell down at Hayward Basin Park. There was 28 vendors there when I rang the bell before everything started. I rang it at 11 o'clock. They had a band. And to start everything off, I got a hold of Ally. Told her
Nice.
this is what we'd like to do. And she says, by all means, we'll videotape it. John's got it, I've got it, but I don't know how to get it on my phone. And, it went well. And I will tell you, that thing is loud when you're ringing underneath. When you're standing there, it's loud. And it went well. Everything worked beautiful.
Cool.
Super,
And it sounds good.
good.
Yes, it did.
At 200 years old.
He did it before the rain came.
Yep.
Excellent, Rick.
Anything else, Rick? Anything else?
Everything else is good.
Jim? Diane?
Rick stopped by today, and I said, he said, well, say something tonight then, Diane. Food for thought, gentlemen, okay, that possibly we may want to go onto a PO system for purchases. Not exclusive, but for certain criteria. As you know, I put the bills through and I look at them like a hawk. And I apologize for that, but it's my taxpayers' money too. And we had 2 incidences this week as I was putting bills through that could have been avoided and saved the town. We know 80 on one, and it's gonna end up, by the time I get everything shipped back and whatever, probably 75. So that's $155. Well, maybe $155 doesn't mean a lot to anybody else, but it means a lot to me as a taxpayer. And when it can be avoided. So if we had a PO system, and I mean, Courtney has a budget, Mike has a budget, I have a budget, Chaco has a budget, Bob has a budget. We all have, the court has a budget, we all have our budgets. But what I'm saying for the as far as the PO is, the incident that has to get sent back was if we had a PO for that merchandise, because it's not everyday merchandise, we could have canceled it because it was back ordered. It's now absolutely no good to our town. And it was almost $500. And they were very, very nice to take it back when I called them. Because I said, what are we gonna do with this item? And then a printer got purchased and it was delivered to the department head's home, which we all know is a no-no. And taxes paid on it, but that's relinquished by the person, and the printer could have been purchased by $80 less. And there's certain essential things that, I mean, I don't buy anything without asking, but I mean, I have a minimal budget. I mean, I'm not talking, I mean, I'm more worried about these guys' budgets. Bob, you know, Chaka and Bob and I have simple budgets, right? Don't you think we have simple budgets, fellas? In a sense, we don't require a lot. These guys do. So not to be a tyrant with POs, but just like when items are being purchased, you know, if you have an emergency or whatever, you can't do it. So then, of course, I have to back myself up so that I'm feeling better about why I'm asking for a PO, is I reached out to my little town clerk clique and I asked other town clerks, do your towns have POs? Lo and behold, I sent them out to 6 because I frantically did it like at 2:30, 2:45 after I talked to you, Rick. But I thought I'd like an answer for tonight. So I sent them out to 6, I think. I got 4 answers back. 3 out of the 6, I got yes. 1, I got no. And I said, so what do you do? Every purchase has to go through the supervisor. Every purchase. So
Well,
therefore, there's a control on that part. So I just want you fellas to think about it. I mean, to go and buy a new wrench or whatever, I mean, I can't think of what, Courtney, tell me something that you go and buy and that you can't have a PO for.
Buy all kinds of stuff.
Well,
But do you know what I'm saying?
I would, if we do something like this, and I work for the state, Mr. Baggs worked for the state. When you work for the state, everything has a PO, everything. You gotta go through the purchasing agent, you call up, you get the PO, and you can go buy it. When she brought this up to me, I thought it was a great idea. Maybe we can do something like if it's over $100, you gotta have because I couldn't see Courtney going over to Overshawn Hardware getting paint or something.
Well, that's what, I
If
guess it's
$50,
common, it's
that's
common.
a waste of
It's common sense things.
Yeah.
It's like Kristen with the t-shirts for the kids for the soccer. We know that those are gonna get bought, but it's just, I don't know, maybe because I'm a tightwad, and I'm really not a tightwad, but I feel it's all of our money, and I know that our town, we have a lot of expenses. You know, the water was, I mean, how many hours of overtime did you have? I was ready to give you the rest of my budget, Courtney, to pay the overtime. You know what I'm saying?
It's part of doing business. You
It
gotta
is.
get the water out to your residents.
I know,
Right.
it's part of doing business, but you have to give there to get someplace else.
Part of what Diane has taught and where we see it more, not so much with these 2 budgets.
Right, or these guys.
I've got access to Staples government contracts, CDW, all these different places where I can check within a couple of minutes. And if somebody sends me their needs, you know, I need this, this, and this, I can check 2, 3 different.
And Courtney, that's what you do. You've come over and said, I need this, or
Certain things, but there's a lot of my purchases that we're digging, trying to do these lead services.
Yeah,
Keep
and
ahead of locks. Okay, we burned all our pipe. I go spend $500,000 on pipe and brass fittings.
but that's what I'm
You know,
trying to
we're
say,
talking
is
more
that
little-
that's not,
Yeah.
we're talking about the
Controllable
little adds up to a lot. It's the little stuff that I just especially this year, I've just continuously seen where I'll sit there and figure it out. Well, that just cost the town $70 more. Well, you had $70.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can do that, we just gotta do it in small steps and different things, because, I mean, we could drive ourselves nuts, because as we
Who's
all
the
know,
purchasing agent?
we can go, the department heads. Department heads has always been, we just gotta, but we can have more discussion on it and
But
stuff.
am I making sense on what I'm saying, or am I just being?
I don't know, I have a PO on everything I buy, but that's the person's name.
It's personal.
Right, but the
Yeah,
thing
but
is,
this,
what
what they're
I'm
saying
saying,
is we have to get it pre-approved before
Yeah.
we purchase things, correct?
But I guess
By
when
who?
you're going to buy
Well,
it,
I'm assuming by her.
Right. If you're going to
No.
buy, no,
Well, it wouldn't be so much a pre-approval, it would be a number.
right.
That would go
Well,
on
yeah,
that.
but who do I call?
Well,
Who
no,
would you
what
call
I'm
for the
saying
number?
is that, the product that I'm
I'm
getting
always
sent
here.
back, if we had a PO, that was ordered in March this year. If we had a PO on that, knew exactly what was ordered, okay, that could have been canceled.
No, my question is who do you get your purchase order number from.
Well, that's the
Well, you
ones
could
that,
also have a list of purchase order numbers. The point is that the consumable items, especially any kind of office products, any kind of,
This is a discussion that we should have in a workshop, honestly, instead of
Yeah, okay, let's do that,
this,
because I'm
this really.
confused about it a little bit.
Yeah. Because it's not just gonna happen tonight, we're gonna have to talk about how PO will work if we go to that, who you will go to, a PO system like a paper, you put it on a piece of paper, how it will go in the system. There's a lot to this to talk about, we could talk for another hour if we wanted to. I would say we do a workshop if this is the way we would wanna go.
Yep, after next November.
Think. We can figure it out.
Right, right.
How it will work and all that kind of stuff. So, but let's have more discussion on it for sure. Okay,
Thank you, Diane.
thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? No. Craig,
No, I have nothing, thank you.
Bob,
I have two things. One, I was contacted by a firm that, right now we use VAS for our IPS system. And this is called a cloud permit. So we had a Zoom call last week for an hour. And it's pretty interesting. Everything is over in the cloud, over the internet. So an applicant, for instance, Craig, wishes to apply for a building permit, it's all done, and this company sets it all up, the program. It's all done without even Craig coming in the office. He can submit his plans. I mean, if he has to come in the office, he can. But if they choose, they could come in and they could do it over the cloud. And it's pretty interesting, and it's comparable to what we have now, but it's more, they have more services to offer. And actually, we have a 12 o'clock, another Zoom tomorrow, because they have also a planning and zoning to this program that they have, and it's pretty interesting. And it's, I guess he said there's over 500 municipalities in New York that are doing it now, and more they're adding.
I would think the bigger ones probably, but
Yeah.
municipality our size, really?
He said they have, believe it or not, they do. They have some here that.
Wouldn't you miss me coming in and asking us
Of course I
silly
would.
questions?
Of course I would. Yeah. So, just, and he has some quotes together, and it's just, you know, just they're trying to sell us this, but it's comparable to what we have now. Because I will tell you, for my take with the BAS, they got acquired by Edwards or something like that. On my end, the level of service has dropped. A lot of times I used to be able to call and you reach somebody. Now you got to set up a time frame. For instance, the real property database that I receive, that I have to have updated every time there's a property changeover. It took us almost a month to get it to get them to do it. So, you know, we'll see. The second thing, without mentioning any names, is we're moving ahead on these properties. We have that we spoke of in the past. We have a court date coming on November 1st for one property, and another one we have the sheriff's department involved with serving papers and not receiving much cooperation, but we're going to get through it. I would spoke to Matt tonight if he's here, but I will speak to him tomorrow.
Yeah.
See how we're going to
Tough
address
job.
it.
the sheriff did call me and Bob before the meeting, and he went to one of the spots today, and they wouldn't have an answer. And even though
They were home,
seen
but they
them-
wouldn't answer the door, and the sheriff actually said that he kind of felt some discomfort there. It's kind of maybe some threats or something, so he backed off, and he will speak to his supervisor. And we'll go from there. But so I'm doing this. I'm following the directions that I received from the county treasurer's office, at Kimberly Davis' office, because as I spoke before, certainly with one of the properties, if we don't get the cooperation, we're going to have the public hearing, and we're going to say we're going to take care of it, and it's going to go on to taxes. So I have a list of stuff I have to file, and that's where we're at, so.
And as soon as we get done that
Okay,
list that Bob's talking about, then we can take care of it, and that's something that we can put on the taxes after we clean up
Yeah,
the property.
Yep.
That
And-
needs to have been picked up for
So
35 years.
it's just, yeah, it's a slow process, and I will say that I sent something out, certified return receipt, a month ago. I called the post office today, because I hadn't received, I didn't expect that they would sign it, and I hadn't received anything from the post office, and they told me, here we go again, due to short staffing down there, that they're having a slow time processing even the return receipts, and yeah, so she said she sent 30 of them out yesterday, and I gave her the tracking number, and yep, yours, one of them is coming back to you showing that it was undeliverable, so. Okay,
Thanks,
that's
Bob.
all I
Good
got.
job.
Thanks.
We'll follow
Thanks for
through.
following through.
When we
Thank you.
do something.
Yep.
Who's the sheriff's supervisor?
What's that?
Who's the sheriff's supervisor?
It's gonna be Leon, Major Leon, I believe.
All right. Scary.
Anything else?
That's it, thanks.
Chaka? Nothing? Everything going good?
We're good? Yep.
Yeah. Kristen?
So we had a little bit of a mask to do last week. Somebody in a family was sick, but the kids weren't. Can they still play? You know, they're not, they've tested, they're negative, you know, so I went through CDC guidelines, spoke with coaches, spoke with parents, confirmed with Mr. Favreau, good to go. I showed up at the game, no problems, no complaints, kid played without a mask, all was good. So, we were fine there. I received an email from Hayden Reedy, who is working, has established a nonprofit organization. They collect food, they do different things, they get grants. I'll forward the email. What they're looking to do is, with support, they had heard that our Oktoberfest half marathon was a no-go this year and isn't going to be. What they'd like to do is they'd like to establish the half marathon again with our help, or with, you know, she was reaching out to me first, seeing if I knew anything. They're going to be doing a half marathon in Plattsburgh in May, but the proceeds, since they're a nonprofit, go to delivering food, as opposed to if you need food going to the food bank, they actually deliver and they take food that is locally grown and sourced. And not only that, but they offer funding for families that meet the criteria for sports programs, local sports programs. So if we had fees that needed to be paid, or if kids need equipment, whether or not it's cleats, sneakers, anything, they'll give for that. So they wanted to reach out and see if that was something
What was
that.
the organization?
Hayden Reedy with, it's REIDY, and it's UPWN. I'll forward the email.
Was the half marathon Ruth LeClaire? Is that who used to run that?
Yes.
That was always a Hamilton.
I talked to you.
Yeah, Ruth Hamilton is Ruth
I
LeClaire.
actually talked to Ruthie last week because somebody called and asked me about it, so I just called her.
So just I'll forward it, you know, I'll help do what needs to. I think that they figured, since my name was on the town and as a rec director, I think they believed, you know, reach out to me first, so I want to put that out there. Soccer closing ceremonies are this Saturday. Ceremonies will be at 9, games will start at 9:30. We have some coaches that coach all 3 levels. So we've modified at least one game so that they'll start at 10:30. Otherwise, it's a 1-game shotgun start, everybody goes, have fun. You know, it's just a good chance for mini-mites to see that this is what's next and this is what's after, and it's a good chance for parents who are Pee-wee to say, okay, my kid started here and now we're all the way through again. And it's a good way for us to, and everybody, to thank everybody who's helped out. Very much so.
It's gonna be a beautiful day too.
It looks gorgeous. So that's our closing ceremony. I'm not a pomp and circumstance thing, so I'm gonna thank the coaches and, you know, that kind of stuff, and youth commission and board and everything else. Also, our soccer moving up. Both Finney's and Lorman's are sponsoring, so they're donating shirts and everything else. Finney's also wanted to donate official shirts, so I've contacted, and I've got a couple of kids that have been through the program, I found out who they actually played for, whether or not it was the Red Storm at the time or whatever. So those are going to be our officials. They're going to have jerseys and everything. So we'll do that on the 20th. Teams are already made, coaches. I think we have 3 coaches on each team because we've given the opportunity for those who have kids that are moving up and moving out, they're going to coach.
Where would that be at?
Right in what they call the Apple Bowl,
Yes,
under the lights.
okay.
Next
So-
Thursday night.
Thursday the 20th, yes. Yep.
What time?
Starts at 6:30. So feel free to come on out. Diana Bartholomew's been great, said let me know. Hopefully they'll have the PA system up and running, otherwise I yell really loud.
There you go.
And one other big thing, we've got everything up and running on Rec Desk. It hasn't gone live yet. So if we could get Rec Desk put back onto the town for signups, that would be fantastic. So we signed all the paperwork, got the okay. This is what is going out to the schools. I'm making copies. I will drop off at the intermediate for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and I'm dropping them off into the classrooms for the 6th graders because they're over in the middle school. But this is, the town of Peru will be participating in a basketball program through Clinton County. Registration for boys and girls teams, levels 3rd and 4th grade, along with 5th and 6th grade. Practices will begin in January, games will be Saturdays, February through March. Registration is being conducted through Rec Desk. There will be more information to follow after signups and when teams are made, and I've inserted my name along with the town number and my email for any questions, comments, concerns.
What do you get for coaches for that?
I've already had several people contact me. I've actually had people contact me about waivers because they played for Keysville last season. But then I've had questions about, well, if they did play for them and they decide to switch over to you know. So I will, Nick Arnold is having the county meeting on the 20th.
Oh, no.
But I've already talked to him and he said all information, he and I can sit down and go over anything we need to, or someone can be sent in my place, and so.
Now, Rec Desk, why wouldn't that be up and running still from soccer?
We had it set because we do it by dates, so that we're not flooded with everything all at once. So we have it set that basketball doesn't start registration until soccer actually ends. So it should go live on the 17th. They should be able to start.
Okay, so you don't have to do anything though?
No,
Oh,
we
okay,
just,
okay.
I think
I
there's
thought
a link
that
that just
was-
goes, or just an announcement that says, I guess you've done it in the past for soccer, or, you know, summer activities.
Yeah, we'll put
We've
it
never
on.
got
So,
involved.
no?
We've
Okay.
never got involved
No,
ourselves.
then don't worry about it, you know.
Are you talking about putting it on the sign?
Yes.
Well, the sign would be a great thing,
Okay,
but I can, you know, give you something shorter than this, obviously.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely put it on our sign.
Yeah, put it on,
Yeah,
sign, put
but
it on
I-
the gazebo, but we've never activated
Never
something
put anything
for.
on the town of Peru website.
Yeah, we've done that.
Okay,
When you said
that's-
Rec Desk,
just
oh,
for Rec.
okay, we took
Yeah.
out Rec Desk.
Yeah,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
So we can do that too.
yes,
Yeah,
yep.
We can do
Yeah.
both, the sign and the town,
okay.
no problem.
But we should be up and going. We'll obviously have to do officials, is my understanding. We'll be in charge of assigning officials, just like we do for baseball, softball, not a problem. I've already been putting feelers out in the high school for all levels for kids who might want to officiate. They'll have a clinic just like they do with baseball, softball, so that we can hopefully get some, you know, the 14-year-olds and up. Obviously, we've put it out to students already who know basketball, but anybody, of course, is welcome to do the clinic and, you know, see if they want to officiate.
I'd officiate, but it'd be full contact. Get it down.
Anything else?
Nope, I think that's it.
That's
We
awesome.
gotta make copies of that before you leave if you want 140 tonight.
Yeah.
Mike,
Here it is.
if you want to pass it to Craig, we can start.
Oh.
Pass that to me, Craig, and we're gonna get copies.
Kristen, if
You got
you
it.
could send me the information via email.
Yes,
140?
please.
Okay,
I
Mike.
had already mentioned it, but we will replace, Lux is gonna replace all the sidewalks on Town Street from
Nice.
where Reifenberg left off. right to the corner of Wally Richards. For my paving money to pay for it, has to be ADA compliant, which we would do anyway. So there's not, where it goes down to that end part of
Right.
sandboard, you don't have the bumps there, and then,
And you're gonna take care of the one by TD Bank that Brandy wants done?
we get to it. Gotta have guys for it.
Brandy
for
knows how
another
to
day.
use a shovel, but.
So, that'll be all done along with the road, so.
Nice.
The only other thing is, some of you probably heard or didn't, town of Belmont's highway garage, Burl, I did talk to Rick, I did reach out to Lee Davis. The only number they had listed on the website was the garage number, so, but after half an hour, I did find a oddball number and ended up being itself, so. I talked to him for a half an hour the other night, very nice guy, of course, they're in Mass. We offered him a truck for a spare loader. But as of right now, he didn't need anything. I do represent Franklin County with the state committee, so if I can get 1 minute sometime next week, I'm gonna take a ride up and, just talk to him, reach out and, give him some time, because I'm sure he's overwhelmed. It's the wrong time of year, it's coming in the winter. They had just remodeled that garage, so it's.
Yeah, that was a great thing that you reached out to him, Mike, I know.
Well, I didn't even know about it till Rick texted me.
Rick told both of you guys, I
Just said northern New York persectory from Albany to there, so.
you were the only town that
Yeah,
reached
so-
out right away. And you
I sent him an email.
so really appreciate both of you guys.
But luckily, he had, most of his equipment was outside, they had a new loader he just got, was only 80 days old, that was inside. But it just got tired of him, kind of talked to him, once he gets to that stuff. To me, if the insurance will pay for it, you should probably replace it, but that's up to them. It's
80 days old and a fire.
But there's a lot of cast and stuff, and aluminum on those things that they don't take.
Don't like
heat
heat.
out, so. That's basically all I went to that salt summit today in Lake George, it was very good. I didn't realize, so I got a text last night at 8 o'clock that I was gonna be up on a panel and have to speak, which I didn't. I said, all right, that probably won't be a big thing, and then you walk in and there's a couple of 3D cameras and it's live streamed. And I said, God, I hope I don't make a donkey out of myself when I get done here, but it was good, it was very well. They had scientists there, experts, and they got into water quality, drinking water, it was very, very well. It's probably one of the first things I've taken, that's what I was telling Pam earlier, that, it was all day that, kind of goes off, it was so interesting, so it was good, so, I got to talk to a bunch of superintendents in between the breaks, and everybody's trying to get into this, it's gonna happen all over, it's, just a matter of how, everybody gets there. The big key really for everybody to get is, and it's a big expensive ball, is you need a place for the salt to be dry, so a lot of towns don't have the salt storage, so they gotta put something on, so. And they got into the, trying to get, there's a lot of interest in getting into this, but no funding is the big thing, which we've been fighting from the get-go. I did get an email, there is a grant, I'm gonna try to open it up next week, and it's kind of like a federal grant, but it's on the technology side that you may be qualified in, we're gonna have cameras out in Beasleyville and all over, and then there's actually gonna be tracking units that'll actually track the salt usage. That'll all be able to see on the screen, and salt reduction people will too. So that, we may get some money, I don't know what the grant looks like. It may be something where I'll turn over to Liz.
Who has to write the grant for you?
What's that?
Who writes your grant for you?
Well, I'm gonna look and see what it is first, and see if it's something I can do, or we gotta reach out and have Liz. So, I don't even know what it is yet, but it has to be technology based, so.
What are you looking at me for?
Thank you. You can do a good job with that.
Mike? Yeah. Courtney?
I really don't have much, one thing I do want to, I guess, go back to what happened on Elm Street. Some of the complaints, I guess I'll say complaints, is notification. We did put it on the Gazette right off. John was quick to get it on. Don McBrayer got it on the website quick. I got it on the Facebook page fairly quick, once I had a minute to get on my phone and do it. The health department, I contacted them right off. They did call all their permitted food places, McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts, for us. I did miss having Carlene call some of the other businesses. She was swamped just answering phones.
All my phones and stuff.
So, I mean, we did get it out there. The concern again is some people, is older people aren't always on or don't go on social media. Oh, we did push it also to News Channel 5, Wiring, not sure else. So I guess again is, I brought this up before, that maybe the town should look at something like town of Blackbrook. Blackbrook does is the My City app. They're part of that. People can download that My City app on their phone. They would have to download that app and join it. It's free. It's a free app, I believe. But we could push messages right to people's cell phones that have that app. So it might be another tool the town.
It'd be real good.
There was no way we were hand delivering 100 and something letters with 2 water breaks back to back. You know.
I wouldn't get too discouraged over a few.
I'm not discouraged. I'm just saying, you know, it's another. You know, you always get the people call continuously.
They're the same ones, so.
You know, is the boil water still on? You know, so it does take time away from the town hall staff, Carlene answering phones, you know, my cell phone, and you know, and then the Lamper side happened the next week, and they made that sound like you couldn't drink water. So the phones were blowing up.
I mean, we all share the apps, you know, when Randy sends out something, we all share it, and then still somebody posts on there, you know, do we have to still boil water?
Yeah.
It just said, you don't have to boil water, you know, so they don't understand.
And I can tell you about 40 of the 50 people that called me or texted me, I said, are you on Facebook? And every one of them said, yes. I said, you know, download, I told them the water sewer one is the best one, you know, don't always go by me, because if I'm not around, you know, I share immediately everything, but at the same time, you know, don't go by me, go off the water and sewer, so I'm sure we've already got more people to join that than probably we have ever had.
Unfortunately, according to people are gonna find fault.
Oh, no, I you know, and that's just part of the thing. I don't have a problem with that, you know, I can handle the negative stuff on Facebook or whatever, the people questioning. I mean, we did have it out in town, but I'm just saying it's another tool the town wants to consider it. I don't think it costs anything, but I'm not positive. You know.
Yeah. How long has it been since we've had 2 water main breaks like that?
Not for a long time.
Well, and you normally, we don't have to shut the whole town.
I know, but
We pretty much had to shut the whole
This was-
village down.
this
And
was the
then
first.
it was a real push with the school street because Valhaven was down all day.
yeah,
You know, I mean, no water, you can't flush your toilets, you can't do anything.
I
you know,
understand
so-
that.
And that unfortunately wasn't an easy one to find,
Yeah.
of course. They had been up all day and then,
That night on School Street, I was up there after Courtney tried turning it on and that one broke. Got a hold of Mel. Mel got a hold of Taylor Rental, Chris Akey. That night, they got the generator with the light tower on it. That was really good. It's safer, everybody can see. I talked to Mike, I talked to Courtney about having money in their budget to buy one. They have a few of them down there that are used, if you guys want to go down and look at them. I think that would be.
Route 3, there's a lot of them right now, and they're done paving tonight.
I mean, they definitely do make the job
They
a
do,
lot more safer.
They're all rented
You
too,
know.
man.
yeah.
There's a lot of nice ones out there tonight, so, they're done tonight, so.
I try to avoid Route 3.
Go down and, go down
It's
and
all
look
about
at
that
it.
Telegraph.
Blame it on him.
No. Blame just said.
So other than that, the other things, like I said, we're trying to do as many of the lead services we can. Rather than paying Luck to do them. So on our nice days, we're working on that. We have started installing the new equipment in Clarifier 1. Brendan came out, did all the layout. We're trying to get that all set so we can get them back up first week in November, put that online. All the materials come in for the aeration tank mixers, which I got a grant to help pay for that from the Lake Champlain Basin Program. We're in the process, we're fabricating all the pieces for that. And so we're trying to get all this done before it gets too cold. And I just ordered kind of been delayed because we've been so busy, but I did order a shade structure for the dog park, which should be here the first week of November, hopefully. I just ended up getting a prefab from Lowe's, cedar, like pergola, kind of,
Yeah.
12 by 12.
One shade.
And again, that's the tobacco settlement grant
Yep.
that we got.
Is it shade and snow?
I was at Lapham Mills today. Our equipment, the volleyball net, when do they take that down?
Once soccer's done,
You'll go-
then I will send the guys up to strip the soccer goals, move all,
I
they'll
was
take all
looking
that.
at it, and it was, of course, it's wet and
Sunday.
Sunday. I said, nobody's gonna be playing volleyball, so,
Yeah, no.
all right,
Usually we do a closeout at the end of the year.
okay.
What about the email we got with the 2 issues down at the sewer plant, the grate and the scaffolding from the comp?
I haven't seen that.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
When Bob Blaisdell went and looked,
Okay.
Yeah.
No big issues by me anyway, but.
I
She'll send it.
sent you copies.
Not me.
Late, it was late today.
Oh,
I haven't gotten it yet.
I haven't gotten it yet either. We'll get it after the meeting.
Send it to the board
There
members.
was 2 small issues and there's nothing that's
Yeah.
really hard to fix.
Okay.
well, I mean, it's,
Yeah, I mean.
he
they-
couldn't have come at a worse time, I'll put it that way.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
sewer plant's doing the clarifier work,
Yeah.
like all the guards are off the equipment because we have to lower ropes and chains down, and, you know, and I explained that all to him,
Yeah.
you know.
It's a fun.
And
the
yeah,
one
we're
with-
scaffolding down the tank.
He just had to write something up to show that he was
Yeah.
here and both
Yeah.
things were nothing.
And the scaffolding, he just wanted to make sure that you guys used extra caution.
Yeah,
It wasn't
that's for
actually a
sure.
write-up, it was just a
Well,
recommendation.
because they're elevated, yeah, usually the guys are harnessed and tied off.
Right.
Matt start yet?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
He's on his second.
Good,
It's going
Right.
well?
Going good. Going
Good.
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 Good news, Courtney.
No.
Pam.
I talked to Craig LePage at Layer 8, and he has almost all of the equipment for the phones and is in the midst of programming them. And hopefully next week or the following week, they will be here to install them.
What's he doing with them?
Programming them, and then
Oh,
he brings them
okay.
over for the install.
And we get a phone, we
I
get
wanna
a
do that
phone
with my
list.
wife program.
Then we have to all learn about the phone system.
So does that mean I have to learn how to transfer calls? I haven't done it in 5 years.
Feeling that it's a two-way street.
Courtney and Craig, thank you guys for going up to Lappin's Mills immediately today. When I talked to you, Craig and Courtney already had a call from Mel. If anyone sees any 4-wheelers up there at all, just stop, just go there obviously and see what's going on or get a picture. There was a 4-wheeler that's doing some donuts. They only went into the parking lot only.
Yep.
They didn't get on the fields, but by the time Craig and Courtney got up there, the 4-wheeler was already gone that we got a call on, so.
I don't think they can get on the field unless.
Remember the same two?
It's a yellow 4-wheeler. It's a yellow 4-wheeler, so if anyone sees anything or hears anything,
I've got a couple of feelers out at school because I've gotten some names.
yeah, it was today too. It happened at
Yeah.
3, after 3. Yeah, so there was a 4-wheeler, and like I said, they only went in the parking lot, thank God, and did some donuts. They didn't get on the field, but if they get on the field with it wet like this, it could be ugly, especially at nighttime. So Craig went over immediately, Courtney did, and thank you guys.
At 3 in the morning?
No, today, this afternoon. No, they were gone.
No, they were gone. He came from one direction, I came from another, and they were already gone.
I called Craig up immediately, and I got the call, and Craig was over there. He hung up the phone before I think he went up, before.
I was working at home.
He was at home, which was nice. But it's a yellow 4-wheeler for sure that they seen today.
When I tasted the farm,
What?
I tasted the farm.
Going at the farm.
They're on the farm.
So if you see it, you hear it, take a picture.
They're coming from Plain Road or Fox Farm.
So if anyone sees anything, get a picture if you can. If not, immediately call, you can call, and something like that, they're ripping up the field or something, you can call the state troopers. or get a hold of one of us immediately, but if you can get a picture without getting involved, that'd be awesome just to have a picture.
I'm the town constable.
Craig, it was nice because you were there and Courtney was going one way and Craig was coming another way. But they were already gone, but they did see the, the parking lot. Other than that, I can't think of anything else. Anyone else?
I was at Culvert Park the other day and the trooper was there, the K-9 guy. And I told him, I driven down and told him where I was, so he said, I'll come down here more often with my dog. And he said, if I catch him, I'll take care of it, so.
Yes,
Thank you.
for some.
Anything else? Okay, if not, public comments on agenda items only.
The Youth Commission participation in the Apple Fest parade was wonderful. It
Yes.
really added a lot of excitement to it, and I don't know how many kids there were, but it had to be hundreds.
Oh, they were so excited to do it.
Yeah, and the Peru Gazette is willing to publicize anything you want publicized too, certainly. Anything I put up about kids gets a lot of attention, right, immediately, so.
Good or bad, it does.
Good, oh yeah, always good, yeah.
Anything else?
No,
Anyone? Okay, I need a motion and a second to pay the bills.
Make it.
Second?
Jim Douglas, Craig second. Diane, resolution, pay the bills.
A resolution authorizing the post-audit payment of certain claims, bills, and invoices of the town, whereas the town board has reviewed and audited the following claims, bills, and invoices for services rendered and goods provided to the town in October 2022. From town approved vouchers in October 2022, 20220012448 through and including 202201321, abstract dated October 12, 2022. The dollar amount totaling $769,345.82. Of that, $24,635 was wired, credit cards, and prepaid, and $744,710.82 is remaining to be paid. And whereas the town board finds said claims, bills, and invoices to be acceptable in form and reasonable in amount, now therefore be it resolved that payment of the aforementioned claims, bills, and invoices is approved and the supervised be and hereby is authorized to make such payment, and be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
And Mr. McDonald?
Yes. I know no reason to be in executive session. Anyone else have any reason?
Nope.
Okay, so I need a motion to table it.
Make that?
Rick, Jim second, all in favor?
Aye.
Need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make it.
Rick?
Second.
Jim,